Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor.
But the blast door is reinforced thicker than a bank vault, and the creature seems temporarily trapped. If he stays, he dies. If he moves, he might still die, but at least there is a chance. He approaches the right side of the wall, where the rotating panel previously appeared. This time, the wall splits open in 4 metallic sections, revealing an illuminated tunnel barely wide enough for a person to crawl through. The AI guides him. Enter immediately. Structural integrity will fail in 40 seconds. Elias crawls in. The tunnel is claustrophobic, lined with pipes and humming wires. The metal beneath his hands vibrates with distant impacts, the creature trying to break through multiple layers. As Elias moves deeper, the AI speaks again, but with a cracked, unstable tone. Subject 43A, you were not the intended occupant. The previous subject terminated system stability. Your arrival was unauthorized. Elias frowns. What do you mean unauthorized? You brought me here. No, the AI replies. A foreign override abducted you. Your memories have been altered. You were not supposed to survive the extraction mission. This revelation hits Elias like a shockwave. He remembers fragments. A mission gone wrong, betrayal, a bright flash. Someone had manipulated him, brought him here. But who, and why? Before he can question further, the tunnel shakes violently. A thunderous roar echoes from behind. The creature has pierced the first blast door. The metal shrieks under its claws. The AI's voice grows frantic for the first time. Move, move. The entity is adapting, it is learning. Elias drags himself through the last stretch of the tunnel. Ahead, a vertical shaft opens, leading downward into a new chamber. He drops through the hatch and falls onto a grated platform below, landing hard. Lights snap on. This chamber is enormous, far larger than his cell. It looks like a maintenance bay fused with a laboratory, filled with shattered test pods and broken machinery. Deep claw marks rake across every surface. And in the center of the room lies a circular containment pit, its reinforced glass shattered outward, as if something escaped rather than was forced inside. A holographic panel flickers to life in front of him. It displays a single phrase. Project IRONBLOOD, Phase 4, Sentinel Specimen Status, Lost. Recommendation, terminate subject. Elias stares in horror. Terminate him. The AI's voice returns, but softer. Subject 43A, I am sorry. You carry genetic fragments of the experiment. The entity is hunting you because you are linked. Elias whispers, trembling, what did they do to me? And before the AI can answer, a massive explosion echoes above. The creature has breached another barrier. Dust and debris rain down. The chamber doors slam shut. Lights turn blood red again. Elias realizes the truth. Iron Cell was not built to contain the monster. It was built to contain him. The movie resumes with an explosive burst of sound, as if the very structure of Iron Cell is rattling under the weight of something monstrous. Elias grips the broken steel pipe so tightly that his knuckles turn white, his breath shaking with panic and adrenaline. Every instinct in his body screams to fight, flee, or find cover, but the cell offers no real safety, only cold metal and shifting shadows. The alarms echo through the narrow corridors like a broken siren song, rising and falling in mechanical agony. The AI's once calm voice is now glitching, stuttering between lines of corrupted warnings, as if something is interfering with its system. Contain, containment, breach, hazard protocol, malfunction. The lights flicker violently again. For milliseconds at a time, the hallway outside his cell becomes visible. Dust shakes from the ceiling, the pipes rattle overhead, and the metal floor vibrates with every pounding step of the creature approaching. Elias forces himself to step backward, flattening against the far wall, trying to quiet his breathing. But fear is a loud thing. Inside his chest, his heartbeat feels like a drum calling predators closer. Then, suddenly, the lights stabilize. Silence. It's an unnatural silence, heavy and suffocating. Even the alarms cut abruptly, replaced by a buzzing hum, the sound of an old industrial system rebooting. The screen across the cell door lights up again, showing only static. Elias waits, pipe raised, eyes fixed on the entrance. Then he hears it, not footsteps this time, but a long, slow inhale. Something is breathing just beyond the door. The breath is wrong, deep, layered, as if more than one throat is producing the sound. For a moment, Elias closes his eyes, steadying himself. He whispers under his breath, this can't be real, this isn't real. But then something scratches the door, a metallic scrape, long and deliberate, like claws dragging across steel. Sparks fall to the floor beneath the doorframe. Elias realizes two terrifying things at once. Point 1. The creature is intelligent enough to probe the barrier. 2. The AI is not in control anymore. The overhead screen suddenly clears its static and displays a single sentence typed rapidly, character by character, as if the system is being hijacked. It smells your blood. Elias stumbles backward in shock. The AI never used such human-like sentences before. Someone, or something, else is communicating through the system. But before he can process this new development, the entire cell violently shudders. The metal clamps holding the door twist under tremendous force, bending inward. The door dents with each impact. With every hit, the iron vibrates like a struck bell. Boom. The first dent appears. Boom. A deeper crater forms. Boom. The hinges start ripping from their sockets. Elias steadies his breath, raising the pipe. The creature is seconds away. But then, everything changes. A second alarm bursts through the speakers, louder, sharper, pulsing like a heartbeat. Red emergency lights flood the cell, bathing every surface in blood-colored illumination. A thick blast door drops from the ceiling, sealing the hallway between Elias and the creature. Then the AI regains partial control. Hazard zone reinstated. Subject 43A, remain still. Secondary lockdown in progress. Thick plumes of coolant gas spray through the hallway beyond the blast door. Elias doesn't see the creature clearly, but he sees movement in the fog. Long limbs, sharp joints, and an unnaturally fluid shape that crawls across the ceiling like a metallic spider. Its glowing red eyes are the last thing visible before the fog becomes too dense. The AI speaks again, this time with forced calm. Subject 43A, your survival remains a priority. Hazard entity has been momentarily stalled. Proceed to Panel 7 for extraction protocol. Extraction. Elias doesn't trust it. The first major twist arrives when Elias discovers a scratched message behind a loose steel plate. The engraving is rough and desperate, as if written in panic. Alongside it, he finds dried blood marks and a torn piece of a uniform labeled, Subject 42B. This means someone was here before him, and they didn't survive. As the paragraph progresses, the film builds a slow burn thriller atmosphere. Elias begins testing the AI's boundaries, refusing to follow certain commands. When the AI orders him to sit in a restrained chair, he breaks the leg of the bed and wedges the door mechanism shut. Immediately alarms blare, gas hisses from vents, and the lights flash violently. But he notices something surprising. The AI does not override the door manually. Perhaps it doesn't have full control after all. In that moment of chaos, Elias hears something horrifying. A low growl, a fast metallic scraping, then heavy footsteps, not human, not normal, approaching from the ventilation shafts. The AI's voice becomes distorted. Subject 43A, remain still. This area is unsafe. But the AI doesn't sound like it's warning him, it sounds scared. The final section of paragraph 1 reveals the film's deeper mystery. Iron Cell was originally built to contain an experimental organism created during a bioengineering project known as Project Ironblood. The creature was designed as a regenerative combat unit, but it evolved beyond control. The government sealed the facility and activated the AI to keep the organism contained. But now, based on the strange noises and failing systems, Elias realizes the creature may have breached its containment. The paragraph ends with Elias gripping a broken steel pipe as the cell lights illuminate the hallway for a split second, revealing a tall, skeletal figure with metallic bones and glowing red eyes sprinting toward the door. The alarms reach a deafening pitch. In the dark, silent outskirts of a forgotten industrial district, where rusted pipelines crisscross broken rooftops and old factories stand like wounded beasts waiting for their final collapse, lies an underground facility known only by its code name, Iron Cell. The world above has almost erased its existence, but those who once worked in shadow governments, deniable operations, and classified experiments whisper that Iron Cell was never just a prison, it was a controlled ecosystem designed to bend the human mind beyond the threshold of sanity. As the movie begins, the camera slowly descends through thick clouds of industrial smoke, drifting over decaying chimneys and smashed concrete blocks, until it reaches a blast-proof iron door half buried in dust and debris. A single flickering red light glows above it, as if warning viewers that what lies beyond should never be touched by human curiosity. Inside the cell, everything is cold, mechanical, and oppressively silent. The walls are made of reinforced steel plates, welded together in uneven layers, leaving the impression that the place was built in a hurry, or rebuilt after something catastrophic happened. Pipes hiss continuously, carrying pressurized gas and chilled air through the narrow corridors. Cameras move silently on suspended rail systems, tracking every movement with inhuman precision. This is not just a cell, it is a surveillance organism with metallic veins and electronic nerves. Into this hostile environment awakens our protagonist, Elias Gray, a former military intelligence officer who mysteriously disappeared months before the story starts. Elias wakes up on a rusted metal bed, chained at the wrists, his throat dry as cracked earth. He tries to recall how he got here, but fragments of memory flash like broken glass: a briefing room, a satellite map, a classified extraction operation, and then, a blinding white light. As he sits up, the ceiling lights buzz softly, then brighten to an unnatural sharpness, forcing him to squint. A voice suddenly echoes through hidden speakers, calm, genderless, synthetic. Subject 43A, consciousness detected. Initialization successful. Elias freezes. The voice doesn't sound like a guard or scientist, it sounds like an AI controlling every inch of the cell. The first 10 minutes of the movie build psychological tension as Elias explores the limits of his confinement. The cell is small but filled with strange mechanical structures: a rotating wall panel that reveals tools he never asked for, a steel table that folds into the floor, and a transparent screen that suddenly activates to display brainwave patterns he doesn't understand. He shouts for anyone listening, but the AI responds with chilling consistency. Communication denied. You are here to comply. Soon, the narrative reveals that Iron Cell is part of a covert behavioral experiment designed to test human adaptability under extreme isolation and stress. But there is more, something that even the supervising AI seems afraid of. Through occasional flickers in the metal vents and sudden malfunctions in the lights, a sense of hidden danger grows, hinting that Elias is not alone despite the AI's repeated insistence that he is the only living subject. The tension increases when the AI begins what it calls cognitive layering tests. Lights go out. The cell shape changes. Metal walls shift like moving puzzle pieces. The cell expands and contracts as if breathing. Elias realizes the facility uses mechanical architecture to manipulate perception. Hallucination-like illusions are triggered by gas released from ceiling vents. In low light, he sees shadows where shadows shouldn't exist: tall, thin silhouettes, moving silently. The AI always denies their existence. No biological anomalies detected. You are hallucinating due to stress. But Elias knows hallucinations do not leave footprints.